I'm going to try and share a little bit about what is happening in government, past, present, and future, good and bad, to provide a context for what you're seeing in the front page of the paper on a regular basis. We're, I think, seeing play out in front of everyone this tremendous drama back in Washington, where we've got what appears to be a potential train wreck coming with very significant consequences. And for us, of course, we're familiar with that because in California we've experienced that with great regularity, much to our frustration, angst, and concern. In fact, for the last decade, it's been enormously challenging in California. I think this was brought home to me personally when I was taking care of my little daughter, Landis. She's 8 years old, and when Daddy comes home, it's time for daddy-daughter time. You know how that is? So Kara takes care of the kids when I'm gone, and when I come back, it's your turn. And, and so she said, Sam, take Landis and go have a fun day. So put her in the car, and my idea of a fun day is go to the bookstore and Best Buy. So anyway, not very exciting, but I had her in the car, and I'm driving down, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What do you talk about with an eight-year-old? And so I said, well, Landy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she kind of hummed and hawed, and I said, you want to be a firefighter? If she'd seen this program, she would have said yes. But you want to be a firefighter? No. You want to be a police officer? No. Do you want to be a veterinarian? No. And then I popped the big question. I said, would you like to be a politician? And she said, no, no way. And I said, Landis, why not? She said, because you're the ones who cause all the problems. And I said, Landis, why do you say that? She said, I read it. Where did you read that? In the paper. I share that because it's true, and also because it's, I think, very informative, because it reveals the level of anger and frustration and even disdain that the public currently has, and how government is working for the people. Now, as we kind of go into the Wayback Machine and talk about why California encountered these problems first, and we're now seeing them in Washington, I think it's worth remembering some major changes that happened that changed our governance system pretty dramatically. And 4 big ones that happened a little over a decade ago were term limits, Prop 34, which was a very important piece of, a very important initiative that changed how campaigns are funded. There was the redistricting, the gerrymander, the partisan gerrymander of 2002, and then the closed primary system. We don't have time, I'm told reliably, to go through in more detail exactly why each one of those conspired to create this perfect storm of dysfunction in Sacramento. But suffice it to say that each of those 4 initiatives, in their own way, shifted a dramatic amount of power, knowledge, expertise, and capability away from, frankly, electeds to the parties. The parties found themselves able to draw the lines however they wanted, so virtually no seat could shift from Republican to Democrat. They then, with a closed primary system, were able to ensure that only the most pure representative of the specific party would likely get through a primary system. Third, with Prop 34, although it clamped down on campaign contributions for candidates, it provided unlimited contributions to political parties who then could provide to the candidates, which dramatically increased the power of the candidates and of the party. And then, of course, with term limits, you ended up with individuals who, frankly, had very little policy knowledge and also very little runtime with their community to be in a place where they could put up bad votes, tough votes, as they'd be defined by certain groups, and come back, explain it, and survive. Because they're there so briefly, there is no runtime or legacy. That's, in large part, the framing of what happened to us throughout the latter 90s and this last decade.